Today, in the last episode of this season, where we're talking about all the must knows of getting through our 20s, we are exploring a mindset shift, going from such an attachment to our moment to moment reactions to a place of detachment and observance. There is a quiet space inside of you, one that is constant, always there, though we rarely notice it. You might not even realize it's there as you go about your day, but it exists, patiently waiting. It's the part of you that's unbothered by the chaos around, untouched by the drama of the mind. The problem is, we spend so much of our time locked in the noise that we forget this space even exists. One of the best books I've read in the last years was Michael A. Singer's The Untethered Soul, which invites us to return to this place, this inner sanctuary that's often buried beneath the noise of our thoughts, emotions, and worries. His ideas are new, but the way he presents them really resonated with me. Today, I want to take you on a journey into the heart of this book. Not summary, but through the lens of how it can help us find a deeper sense of freedom, peace, and awareness in our daily lives. The Untethered Soul opens with a simple yet profound observation. We are not the noise in our heads. Think about that for a second. The voice that narrates our every move, that questions, analyzes, judges, that voice isn't you. It's something that's happening to you. Singer asks us to step back and observe it, like we would watch a play unfold on a stage. Take a moment to reflect on that. Think of the last time you found yourself wrapped in a worry. Maybe about work or a relationship or even just something small that got under your skin. What happens? Your mind starts chattering. What if this doesn't work out? What did they say that? What did I say that? How should I have done things differently? It spirals, sometimes without end. Singer's first invitation is simple. Notice that voice. Don't judge it and don't fight it, just notice it. That's the first step toward inner freedom, realizing you're not your thoughts. You're the one that notices your thoughts. This reminds me of a scene from the film Eat, Pray, Love, where the main character is sitting in a meditation hall in India, trying to still her mind, but all she can think about are distractions. Her ex-husband, her lover, her life back in New York. Her mind is like a runaway train, speeding from one thought to the next. But then something clicks. She realizes that these thoughts, as noisy and persistent as they are, don't define her. She begins to understand that there is a deeper part of her that's untouched by all the mental chaos. Singer's work takes us through this same realization. You're not your thoughts that race through your mind. You're the awareness beneath them. It's a radical shift, at least for me, to think that all the noise, all the judgment, the fears, the insecurities, is just something you can observe rather than something you are. This shift changes everything because once you realize this, you can start to let go of the mental drama. It's like watching clouds pass in the sky. They come and go, but they don't affect the sky itself. You're the sky, and your thoughts are the clouds. Once you begin to see yourself as the observer of your thoughts, the next question is, what are you holding on to? Singer asks about this in terms of energy, or what he calls the thorns we carry around in our hearts. These thorns are unresolved emotions, old wounds, and painful memories that we keep tucked away, sometimes for years. He gives a striking metaphor. Imagine you have a thorn lodged into your arm. You could try to protect it, wrapping it in layers of gauze, avoiding situations that might touch it, constantly being on guard, but the thorn is still there, isn't it? No matter how much protection you add, it's going to hurt whenever something brushes against it. What's the other option? You pull it out. Singer argues that most of us live our lives protecting our emotional thorns, those unresolved bits of pain and hurt, rather than doing the work to release them. We tiptoe around anything that might trigger us, but in doing so, we keep ourselves locked in fear and discomfort. The key to freedom, according to Singer, is learning to let go of those thorns, to stop holding on to the past hurts, grievances, or fears, and to allow the energy to flow through us instead of getting stuck. One of the most powerful ways Singer explains this idea is through the concept of letting go. He suggests that life is constantly offering us opportunities to let go of our emotional baggage, but it's up to us whether we accept that invitation. Think of a different conversation you've had recently. Maybe it was a friend or a partner or a colleague. There is often a moment where your emotions start to rise, where you feel hurt, misunderstood, or defensive. He says that in that moment, we have a choice. We have a choice to hold on to the emotion, letting it define the interaction, or simply to release it, to let it pass through us like water. It's not easy, I'll admit. I've had a conversation with a close friend recently where I found myself getting defensive. The old patterns started bubbling up. Memories of past arguments or feelings of being wronged. I could feel the thorn, but I remembered Singer's words. And instead of reacting, I paused. I noticed the feeling. And then I let it go. The conversation shifted. What could have turned into an argument became a moment of connection, simply because I chose to let go of the emotional baggage. Singer also dives into the idea of death, not in a morbid way, but as a tool for perspective. He asks, what if you lived as though you were always aware of your own mortality? It is not about being constantly anxious, but about understanding the impermanence of life. When you truly accept that everything is temporary, the good, the bad, the mundane, you start to live with more appreciation for each moment. And also, we're less embarrassed about our shortcomings and failures, and we become more free to relax. This perspective also helps with letting go. You realize that life is fleeting, and the small things that we hold on to, the grudges, the worries, they start to lose their grip on us. It becomes easier to let things pass, to move forward without carrying unnecessary weight. There is a beautiful example of this in the Handmaid's Tale. In one scene, the protagonist, June, has a fleeting moment of clarity amidst the horrors that she faces. She realizes that despite the world crumbling around her, there is a part of her spirit that remains untouched, a place within her that cannot be taken or controlled. It is this deep inner space that Singer speaks of, this untethered soul that remains free no matter what our external circumstances are. Singer's book ultimately asks us to live from this untethered space, to stop gripping so tightly to the things that weigh us down, our fears, anxieties, our past, our need for control, and instead to surrender to the flow of life. It doesn't mean we stop caring or trying. It means we stop resisting. We accept what it is for, we accept things for how they are and go from there. Imagine for a moment that you're floating down a river. You could spend all your energy trying to swim against the current, to control where you're going, to fight the flow. Or you can relax and let go and trust that the river will take you where you need to go. Singer invites us to choose the latter, to trust life, to let go of the need to control everything. And in doing so, we find real freedom. This idea right here was life-changing for me. This, of course, is easy to say and hard to live by. We are not our thoughts. We are not our emotions. We are the one who observes them. And once we can fully embrace this, we can start letting go of the thorns, the past, and the need to control, and live instead from this place of openness and freedom and presence. This journey is lifelong, and we'll always be tempted to cling into what feels familiar, even if it's painful. Change is scary, but if we can learn to untether ourselves from the noise, from the internal chatter, we just might find that space within that's always been there, waiting. Thank you for being here with me today and for exploring this with me. I hope you carry these ideas with you, not as rigid rules, but as invitations to soften and to release and to find that quiet, untethered place inside yourself.